What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Off the Grid, a Power Rangers podcast. The show where we just talk Power Rangers, whatever's going on with relevance in the Power Rangers world. Specifically, the original age, the Mighty Morphin to the in-space era. I like to talk around there, but I always tell everyone I am on the verge of rewatching every Power Ranger show that I've watched. And then I'm going to continue onto every single Power Ranger season ever made until I finish all of them and catch up. I want to catch up before Power Rangers Beast Morphers premieres. And so that way I can keep up with the current shows. Because when I was younger, I kind of grew out of it and stopped watching around in space. Anyways, that might be TMI. We're here today to talk about the 2018 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers annual from Boom Comics, the Shattered Grid edition. And it's a little bit tough because guess what I have on my mind, to give you one guess? Avengers Infinity War. I just saw it last night. Wow. That's all I'm going to say, non-spoiler. That was my non-spoiler review. That last 15 seconds, that was my non-spoiler review. I'm going to wait a couple days. I'm thinking about putting up a in-depth spoiler discussion on this YouTube channel, Comic Hero Talk, so look out for that. But yes, today solely we're here to talk about Shattered Grid, 2018 annual Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I think there's different iterations of the cover. I got this one. I like this one. It's cool. I thought there was a different one that had like the Gold Ranger in the front. The Gold Ranger's there in the kind of in the back, but I do like it. Oh, also I picked up the second printing of Shattered Grid, number 25. That's awesome too. Glad I got that. So this annual, I was really looking forward to the annual because so far I think there's been two before this. The annuals for the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers have been great. Get a lot of backstory, a lot of different side stories, and I love most of the stories within those annuals. Up to this point, this one, a lot of hype around it because of the Shattered Grid phenomenon. But I will say overall, I don't love this annual. I like it quite a bit. I like certain stories in it quite a bit, but I don't love it. I just feel like it was just disappointing regarding the hype. Considering the hype, it was disappointing. But it's not bad. It's good. I was just like expecting it to be as amazing as Shattered Grid has been so far. Which Shattered Grid is, honestly, Power Rangers aside, without my bias, Shattered Grid number 25, 26, just everything, honestly, everything Boom Comics has been doing with the Power Rangers in the past 2 months, 2 or 3 months, has been some of the best stuff I've ever read in comics. And honestly, to be real, I haven't been reading comics all my life. I started reading comics like heavily about 3 years ago. So I'm not a diehard comic book fan, been reading everything, read all the classics. That's not the case. But I do read quite a bit of comics, and this is some of the best I've ever read. And I love it. So I'm expecting that going into this annual. Didn't get it, but it's still really good. I love that they opened up with Power Rangers Zeo. Power Rangers Zeo has just, for me, solidified itself for me as the third best season of Power Rangers ever that I've seen. You got Power Rangers 1 and 1, Power Rangers Season 2. Those are the two best in order. And then Power Rangers Zeo for me. And I just finished Turbo. My next podcast show is going to, because I don't think we have a comic next week. So unless Go-Go comes out next week. We'll see. If Go-Go comes out next week, then I'm going to be reviewing that. If not, if it's an empty week for Power Rangers comics, then I'm going to put up my Power Rangers Turbo spoilers review. And I'm currently watching Power Rangers in Space. I watched it when I was a kid, but as an adult, you have a different perspective. I'm loving Power Rangers in Space. It's kind of cheesy, just like all Power Rangers, but there's like a cool thing about it. But I'm going to talk about that. Anyways, let's get into this baby right here. Love that they open up with Zeo. Love seeing the Zeo team together. Love that they're saying goodbye to Jason. Now, I will say right off the bat, I am disappointed because we've been seeing the marketing for Shattered Grid, and you've seen the Gold Ranger on some of the covers for the annual. I thought I was going to get some Jason Scott, Gold Ranger, in suit in action in these comics, and we didn't. But it's fine. It was still a great moment. Because in the TV show, when Jason leaves the Zeo Rangers, he just walks off on the beach with that girl. And then that's it. You don't see him again. Where was the proper goodbye from the whole team? We got it in here. They gave him his old morpher rebuilt from Rocky. That was great how it was Rocky's idea to give it to him. That was great because Rocky took Jason's spot as the Red Ranger in the original series. So I loved that. But I was just a little disappointed that we didn't actually get to see the Gold Ranger suit up. The Gold Ranger's in his suit in the front, but he's not. You don't see the gold suit in the comic, actually. So that was a little bit disappointing, but still love that they opened up with Zeo. Now, if you heard what I said at the beginning of this show, I've only watched up to Power Rangers in Space. So I am not familiar with a lot of the stories in here, other than its connection to Shattered Grid. I'll tell you which ones I liked. I'll tell you which ones I didn't care for that much. Obviously, I liked the Zeo one. The next one was the Power Rangers SPD. I liked that one because they fought off Draken, whatever you want to call him. They fought off Lord Draken, and Lord Draken realized that he can't beat everybody, and he's learning, so he's not invincible, which is great. I thought that was awesome. So I did enjoy the SPD one, and like I said, once I watch that series, I'll give my thoughts on it, whether I like the series or not. Now, forgive me if I don't know which Team of Rangers this is, but the one with Dr. K, the one where the doctor created this virus and Tommy's trying to get her to work with him. It was okay. It was cool. I didn't love it, but I love that idea where he's trying to recruit her to work for him, and that she ended up creating this virus that eliminated some of the population, and in his eyes that brought peace. Like, I liked that, and that he was trying to recruit her. But overall, I didn't really love that one that much. I really liked the Power Rangers in Space one because I'm watching Power Rangers in Space right now, and I mean, I'm liking it so far. I think it's pretty cool. Like, it's just something different. I loved how they switched it up and, did something different with the Power Rangers in Space. So I liked this one. I liked seeing Andros, and it was pretty cool. And I like TJ. TJ is becoming one of my favorite characters in Power Rangers. So I like how that was centered around him and how he floated off in space. One thing that I do think is happening is I think that some of these Rangers that we're seeing in this annual are going to end up teaming up with the Rangers team who's assembling to fight Lord Draken. Like, I think TJ, the in space TJ Ranger, we saw him float off in space. I think he's going to join this team who's going to end up fighting Lord Draken. Maybe one of the Zeo Rangers joins. Maybe it's the Gold Ranger, Jason. That would be kind of weird for Jason to join Jason, but we've seen weirder things, I guess. We've seen Tommy and Tommy interacting. Why not two alternate timeline Jasons interacting? Why not the Gold Ranger Jason and the original Red Ranger Jason? There we go. That's why they're teasing the gold suit, because we're going to see it in the regular timeline joining the fight. There we go, because he killed Tommy in that timeline too. So there we go. That's my prediction. TJ's joining the team, and Gold Ranger Jason is joining the team. That's what I think is going to happen. And then last, we had the Ninja Steel tie-in at the end. That one was pretty cool. Not completely memorable for me, but it was okay. I liked it, and I liked the little end tag in. How, of course, they tease us with a little Draken thing where he has an idea at the end. Like I said, overall, I'm not as enthusiastic about this or going in detail because I didn't enjoy it that much. Like I said, just because I don't love something doesn't mean I hate it. I liked it. It is the middle ground. I liked it, and there's some moments right there. Like I said, I loved seeing the Zeo team. Loved it. And loved those moments. Loved seeing Jason at that time in his life. I loved the in space one. I liked the SPD one a lot. So those are the highlights for me in this annual. One thing I think we could talk about is where do things go from here? Like, what's going on? What are we gonna see go on? Who knows? I think, like I said, I think some of the Rangers we saw in here are gonna play a part in everything going forward. I think we're going to have to see some other teams in there. like, who knows? Maybe we'll see somebody from Turbo, somebody else, maybe a later generation Mighty Morphin. Maybe we'll see people from the older days. What if we see a Power Rangers Super Dino Charge Black Ranger Tommy somewhere down the line? Because what we've learned is the Shattered Grid is separated, and it's separated these timelines. That's one thing we learned in here, actually. This is big, and I can't believe I didn't start off the bat with this. The Tommy from Zeo is still alive. So Draken killed Tommy from the regular timeline as the Green Ranger, and I talked about this in a previous episode, where that should have eliminated Tommy in that timeline for good. But because the grid is shattered and they're no longer connected, like Jen Scott said, they're separated. If you see the grid in that issue, it's separated, so these timelines aren't connected. So every Tommy in those timelines, I think, is still alive. If that's not the case, then why would the Zeo Ranger Tommy still be alive? So I think possibly the Super Dino Charge Tommy, an older Tommy, might be still alive. I think that'd be pretty cool. We could see Tommy around in certain different eras, so maybe we see Power Rangers Turbo Tommy. I mean, if we're going in order, so he killed Mighty Morphin Tommy, we think he killed Zeo Tommy, and then maybe he goes to Turbo and kills Turbo Tommy. So that's something interesting to really think about, that Tommy's not dead throughout that whole timeline. That might be the biggest thing to take away from this, because that means maybe potentially one of these Tommies comes back and joins the team. Who knows what ends up happening? I just think that they could have done something a little bit more. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little bit selfish, because I'm looking at this from my perspective, where I don't know a lot of these other Rangers and these other teams, and that's not fair. That's not fair for me to dislike it because I don't know it, you know? I do, but the thing is, I still acknowledge I'm not familiar with SPD at all, and I really liked that one. I did like Dr. K a lot, so I'm not completely like, oh, forget about those ones. Not at all. I do enjoy elements of it. And what this has done, just like the Jen Scott's thing did with seeing Time Force in that first issue and seeing Jen Scott show up, I can't wait until when I'm watching the Power Ranger seasons until I get to Time Force. I can't wait. So what Shattered Grid is doing for me as a Mighty Morphin to In Space fan is getting me excited to watch future seasons. It's getting me, who only watch certain seasons, to want to go watch other seasons. So I think that's a huge positive overall. I think that's great. And that's just spreads the Power Rangers love around overall. So I'm excited to watch those seasons. I'm excited for Shattered Grid going forward. I believe the next issue is Go-Go Power Rangers number 9 or number 10. I think it's number 9 when the Ranger Slayer shows up. I've been dying to see the Ranger Slayer. Like, that was so long ago when she showed up at the end with Finster 5. So I want to see that. Can't wait. Anyways, this is going to be a short episode today. Usually I go a little bit more in depth, but there's little stories, so it's a little bit hard to do that. I want to know what everybody else thought. What did you guys think of this 2018 annual? For me, it's not as good as the previous ones, but it was really interesting and really intriguing, and I couldn't help as soon as I got it, I got home and read it because it's all Shattered Grid tie-in, so I had to read it. I liked it. Did you guys like it? Do you think it sucked? I really want to know. Am I kind of underrating it maybe? Is there something I missed? For those of you who watch SPD and Ninja Steel, like, did those stories work for you? I really want to know about that. And just overall, did you enjoy this? What hints did you pick up throughout this whole thing that make you speculate about Power Rangers Shattered Grid going forward? Do you think TJ is going to join the squad who's joining up to fight Draken? Do you think another Tommy? Do you think another Jason? Do you think any other character is going to end up joining the fight to fight Draken? Because they've been doing is having certain characters from each team join, not every single Power Ranger from every team, which is kind of cool because then you have too many characters at that point. Please let me know in the comment section what you think. And of course, if you love Power Rangers, if you love geek stuff, nerd stuff, superheroes, if you've seen Infinity War, subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'll be putting a spoiler review for that up soon. Alright, that'll do it for me today. I don't even know if I said my name at the beginning of this show. I am Jacob Bartley. You can obviously find me on this Comic Hero Talk YouTube channel talking all things, but mostly a lot of Power Rangers. Thank you all for watching this video. Until next time, may the power protect you.